Welcome! I gotta tell you that I am in a fantastic mood. I'm a little under the weather, but I'm in an amazing mood. I've had an amazing weekend. I feel like it's been sunny. I've been connecting with so many wonderful people, family, friends, new friends, former strangers. I just feel so blessed. I feel blessed for this moment now, this weekly gathering, this weekly boost of vibrations that you make happen, that we all make happen. Maybe not make happen, that we all surrender to and allow to happen. That is really the big theme of HugNation. It is float more, steer less, which is not to say it is a passive experience. It means it is a surrender. It is a feel the flow. It is a feel the momentum and flow of the river and then paddle in that direction. Oh, it is so easy when you paddle with the flow. So today I wanted to talk about a little bit different theme than the past couple weeks. I've been doing these theme words, but this last weekend I participated in the Burning Man Film Festival and gave a little talk on the gift of giving. And while I was doing that, some thoughts started going through my head. It was kind of scattered, as I've been known to be, but one of the ideas that kind of came up as I was talking was applying theme camp ideas and theme camp mentality into other parts of life. Now, I recognize that lately, and maybe always, my ideas and talks have been very Burning Man focused. And I want to be clear that these are not talks about Burning Man specifically. I'm trying to use my experiences at Burning Man as a tool for myself to understand, and in doing so, hopefully explain ideas better. In the same way that a sailor would explain things based on the tides and the sea and the moon and the stars, because that's their experience and those are their tools. Or perhaps a sports fan would use metaphors involving touchdowns and punting. Although I've been known to use sports metaphors too, which is kind of silly. But it's a good point. If I can use sports metaphors and understand them, so too should anyone be able to understand a Burning Man metaphor if I explain it well enough. So, that being said, what's a theme camp? A theme camp is a group of people, when going to the playa, organize around a participatory idea. It can be as subtle as bringing a certain vibe to the playa, but generally it evolves into actual activities. Maybe they're food things they serve, maybe it's a game, maybe it's a miniature golf course, maybe it is a music stage, maybe it is a massage area, maybe it is a suntan application zone. The cool thing about it is that often the theme camp ideas spring forth from needs. A group of people says, oh, you know what is missing? Or you know what is cool? You know what we have that is needed? Come together, create that, fill the need. I've been involved with a number of theme camps over the years, and I've told stories about many of them while here. Right now, I'm very active in a theme camp called Pink Heart. And one of the huge motivations for Pink Heart was trying to facilitate and expedite the process of making sense of Burning Man. Obviously, I see a lot of lessons in Burning Man because I use them as metaphors. I talk about it constantly as ways to integrate into life. And so Pink Heart is in part about specific acts of gifting, but it's also about trying to create an environment where the process of going from mind blown to mind shifted happens quicker. It took me a number of years to understand certain elements of Burning Man. Some of them I'm still figuring out. And so one of the reasons of having these pink fur couches in the shade that overlook the playa is to create a front porch, if you will, where people can sit, look out over this city that they helped make, and try to understand what is happening. Why do they feel so amazing? What is going on in their heart and in their spirit and in their creative place that they don't understand? What is being woken up in them? And all of the tools that we utilize, whether that's the water bar or the ice cream or the dome experiences, are all trying to make the head blown fall back into place quicker, with more ease in a way that you can take it into the default world. So, one of the neat things about this idea of a theme camp is that it's kind of metaphorical for the world. The world is broken up into this fractal situation of many things organize into a single thing, which those single things then organize into another bigger thing, and then organize a bigger thing. Like atoms assemble into molecules, assemble into systems of, let's say in your body, you've got systems for organs, and those apply into systems of the regulatory systems. And is this making sense? In the same way, an individual camper gets into a group of people in a theme camp. The theme camp is an organization that plays a role in the part of the larger system of the Black Rock City. And in that perspective of your specific role is a part of the whole is a fantastic way to look at the world. Because so often we get put in this perspective of isolation, of we are an individual against the world. And a lot of things reinforce that. But that's not really true. We organize into groups. We organize into clubs, into neighborhoods, into online role-playing groups, whatever they are, but we assemble ourselves into groups and then we play a role within that. And sometimes we get pushed into an attitude of even within that group, it's us and them. But if you shift it into that theme camp mentality where you're a part of the whole, you're just a different part of the whole. You don't judge or think lesser or more of some other theme camp because of they do a different thing than you. You're actually stoked about that. You couldn't have 500 bike repair camps. It would make no sense. But you're so excited there is a couple bike repair camps. The same is true with someone who's got snow cones or whatever the case is. And that's the cool thing. Within the Burning Man mentality, there is this idea that I don't care what you do. I'm just stoked that you're called to do it, and I want to support you in that realm. It's not better or worse than anyone else's. It's just good for you for doing it. And the reason that I mention this is because I've taken this attitude into a couple adventures in life, and it's been super helpful. Or not just helpful, but enhanced the experience dramatically. Several years ago, when I was living in the webcam house, a bunch of friends of mine that were in the house, we decided that we were going to go to Amsterdam on a vacation. But we did something different when we went there. We started with the mentality that we were going as a theme camp. We weren't going as tourists. We weren't taking from their culture. We were sharing our experience, our theme camp, which is that of wacky burner Americans, and we were visiting their theme camp, experiencing their sights, sounds, and foods, and sharing the things that we had to share. So the mentality was so much more of a equal exchange in a gifting sense, not in a exchange of a commerce sense. It wasn't like I'm taking and I'm giving you money. It was I'm experiencing you, +1 for me. You're experiencing me, +1 for you. Yay! And you say, what does that mean? Let me show you some pictures from our. We decided how should we present ourselves as a theme camp in Amsterdam? Well, with fur pants, of course. So we cruised around Amsterdam, as bright and colorful as could be, and the experience was dramatically different. It wasn't an experience of receiving and taking in and kind of taking. It wasn't a take mentality at all. It was a exchange, it was a share, it was a mutual experience. And in a lot of ways, the reason why I like to look flamboyant all the time is because it is a way of saying, I'm a part of a theme camp. I'm a part of a group within the larger group that is not better or worse, but I have different things that I want to share. I want not exchange from a gift perspective. I want to present. I want to receive. I want to appreciate and be appreciated. This metaphor came up again recently when I was thinking about the Help the Homeless project and the First Saturday's outings, because I started thinking that why is this so different than my previous experiences with doing charity, where I felt guilt, or I felt like going and spending time with the downtrodden kind of pulled me down. And I realized that because I was thinking about it like theme camps. We went to go visit homeless camp. And homeless camp has got their own thing. They do their thing. They don't have jobs. They enjoy a different status of camping. They don't have a lot of resources, but they have all sorts of crazy stories. So we went and visited them. And guess what? I come from affluence camp. So we have all sorts of stuff that we can gift them. And it wasn't an experience of, poor you, let me give you what I have. It was, hey, our theme camp has cool stuff to share. Let us gift you. And the experience then was this lifting from both sides. And this shift in mentality made the exact same actions feel dramatically different to both sides. And I think the same thing happened when we were traveling as a theme camp. That this mentality of, I am a gift, you are a gift, creates this dramatically different experience of interacting in the world. You know, the eye is not better than the spleen. The skin is not better than the bile duct. All of these things give their gifts, and if we could appreciate each other, bravo. I think sometimes in the world at large, if we could extend that to where our group is an organ within the larger organism, we might be a little bit more aware of our effect on others and that need to protect ourselves, the nationalism, the neighborhoodism, the whatever makes people to protect themselves at the expense of the greater planet, the greater culture, the greater society, would seem ridiculous, because you would realize that you are a part of the whole. You wouldn't, as a theme camp, do something that would jeopardize the whole event. That would be crazy. And yet, because we've lost or we've never had that mentality, we often do things like that jeopardize the event of life on Earth, or at least as we know it. So, whatever your experience is, whether you go to Burning Man or not, cultivating a appreciation of your gifts and seeing yourself as an ambassador towards everyone you encounter, one, breaks down the wall that sometimes I feel, makes me a little insecure at times, makes me feel shy, makes me feel like, oh, maybe I should stick to myself. And two, totally changes the dynamic of every exchange. It opens up the exchange and changes the dynamic itself. This kind of feels like a camp meeting, huh? Whee! So, as you go through the world, please share your camp's gifts. Your camp, whether that be you as an individual, or you as a member of some group, or you as a member of a neighborhood or organization or country. You are an ambassador in all that you do. Do us proud.
You only live once. Enjoy the color.